If Hughes wins this game 3-0, it'll be fast, right, this set. But I think that this could easily be one of the longest sets in Brawlhalla. 2 players on orb, an incredibly passive weapon, and Hughes who's fully committed to controlling the pace of the match. This is a matchup that if you're not ready for, as MAK, you're going to be completely iced out and beaten for it. But MAK already starting the aggression on the gauntlets.
Yeah, one thing I will say about MAK is MAK's punish game is pretty explosive. And so even though he did end up getting sent down to the elimination side by Godly, and that was a pretty close set as well, and then Godly was able to lock in. But if he was able to kind of recreate some of the punches he was able to get on Godly, this could be a tough time for Hughes. I mean, kind of backing out, trying to hold center stage here, trying to catch the landing with Max, and really just all of South America has such good movement that, when you want to press the attack button, this player like Hughes, you're like, is this the right time? It's really hard.
The movement so far from Hughes, but MAK is closing in and slowly closing in on the stock as well as you have a lot of damage, but you throw away a lot of that stage control with that ground pound. These edge guard opportunities haven't been playing out there. Big N-Sig, the sure you can, but doesn't get it there.
Okay, a dodge away from Hughes is going to stop the stock from being taken, but overall, Hughes showing effectively no punish game here, only getting singular hits and then kind of just running away. MAK, on the other hand, able to at least chain 2 to 3 hits, able to confirm that knockout there as well. Hughes not really showing fully what he's made of, I think, but goes ahead, grabs that scythe, goes for a gravity cancel, sidelight read, gets to turn around nair as well. Kind of one of the affordances you get with this weapon where you're kind of allowed to mess up and miss the read and then still get a punish for it. It's actually one of the things that I think can be frustrating about fighting it, but MAK doing such a great job of playing around this.
I love this orb play for MAK so far. Finally getting whip punished by Hughes with the sidelight into side air, but isn't KO quite yet. This is both of the highest strength legends on orb, and you're seeing that there as that's able to KO coast to coast. Legends like Thor or Reno there wouldn't find the KO off that sidelight side air, but because these are both very high strength legends, that orb is very, very potent.
Okay, now let's see. Hughes gets it down here. Active inputting to send MAK off the stage. Definitely makes sense to me as Hughes always prioritizing that stage control. But getting caught here, yeah, I mean, honestly, to some degree, I feel like Hughes looks like he's moving a little slow. I feel like generally, he's known, to me at least, to be one of the kind of the snappier players when it comes to some of the movement in the dash lands. But right now, having a bit of a tough time, but that's a good little 3-hit string that he's able to get. The nair to the recovery. Go ahead and send MAK over to the corner, but still trailing behind by quite a bit.
The weapon toss comes out there, and now MAK looking to close in on this KO on the world champion. We say it a lot, but it can't be overstated how significant that is, and that side air will be one step closer to this major upset here. PR number 17 in Brazil, and still with opportunities now to take game number 1 versus the world champion. The orb on the Hughes hasn't been working out nearly as well as with MAK, especially on those gauntlets. Nair comes out there looking for the juggle state. Doesn't find much more than a singular one, and juggles are great, but KOs is what gets you paid. The sidelight side air doesn't KO quite yet. That was a little too far, but the next one at the corner will.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, Hughes hasn't been touched since getting sent down to this final stop, right? He's been able to whittle down things to slow it down to his pace, and just like that, he's able to find the sidelights there, and still hasn't been hit, right? I mean, that's not what you want. You don't want to be in a position where you have a lead, and then suddenly the other person is not getting touched, and then just responding in such a big way that, like look at this Hughes. Now starting to rev up the engine, he's feeling the pressure. MAK definitely is like, whoa, this is a completely different Hughes than the person I was fighting even 30 seconds ago.
Sidelight there, MAK now trying to land back down on the stage, but Hughes gets the down air, flips it around there, and getting the side air as well. MAK in a bad spot there as Hughes had an opportunity. He still finds something with a sidelight. GC sidelight comes out, doesn't find it, but the nair does flip it. The side air gets punished, but a nair recovery for MAK puts Hughes on check now as Hughes dashes through the sidelight and gets a sidelight. That's so important now with an unarmed nair and an orb online. One hit towards this blast zone will be enough to do it. Goes for the down air off the wall. MAK gets back to the stage, but throws it all away with the unarmed downlight, and Hughes with the N-Sig takes the game and takes game number 1 away from MAK.
Yeah, and that's the intense part of it, right? Like, Hughes in that last stock just looked like a completely different player, right? He picked up that scythe, immediately was in MAK's grill and just applying pressure upon pressure upon pressure that MAK was just kind of caught unaware. He was like, is this the same dude? And some could say, oh, maybe Hughes was trying to, really wait, bide his time to understand the download so that when it came to that last stock situation, he could play more aggressively and do it with confidence. But man, like that has to be a tough break for MAK. There was a period in that game where you had a lead even, and you weren't able to do anything with it.
And I've been saying that from Yuz all day. Yuz is one of my favorite players to watch play on matches that aren't on stream. I like to sit behind him and kind of see his composure. And he will be down 3 stocks to 1 and look the exact same way as he does when he wins a set. The guy is stone cold. He's a killer. And you'll see this here as he continues to move forward, stealing games away from people that could have easily taken a game, taken a set lead. Not so simple versus the world champion.
And now let's see, game number 2. We're on the Western Air Temple. And Yuz has that orb in hand. MAK going ahead and going for some snares with these gauntlets. Going to maybe see if he can get Yuz off stage. Tries to chase him down with that side air, potentially set up for an early KO. Here's another opportunity, not able to get a read on the jump with the side air this time. Again, either Yuz playing immaculate defense, and MAK just cannot seem to break through this defense.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really scary on Western Air Temple with these juggles, with the nair and the recoveries. Closing in with that side air. MAK now having Yuz on the wall, goes for the downer, but at this point in the bracket, it's really hard to hit people with that downer off the wall specifically. Sidelight side air comes out for MAK nonetheless, and the orb continues to be the moneymaker for MAK in this stock. As he swaps over to some gauntlets now. 1 dodge read away from a KO off the top. Can you find it versus Yuz? No, but weapon toss into side air will be not enough to KO, but will put Yuz in a really bad spot. Sidelight into recovery doesn't connect. Yuz struggling to even pick up a weapon. Finally does there, picks up a scythe.
Okay. And there's the weapon spawn. MAK's able to go ahead and pick up that orb. Gets a side air as well to go ahead and secure that first stock of Yuz. Decent lead for MAK, all things considered here. We'll see if Yuz is able to answer back. But, I mean, you know, we were talking about how when you're playing kind of the orb mirror match, right, like things can slow down a fair amount. And we see a little bit of that here, but all things considered, you know, only 1 minute and 30 seconds has the last off the clock. And we have MAK with a pretty comfortable lead. Yuz needs a sidelight tier like yesterday. He's just unable to find it. The down air, not going to connect. Can we get like an end-sig or something? Nope.
It's so crazy because they're stacked on top of each other, especially when Yuz has orb in line. You can go for an end-sig, which is a very fast move. Essentially a light attack that anti-airs and beats stacked opponents. We see GC sidelight into side air. Coast to coast, that's that high strength orb. Again, being a big deal for Yuz.
Okay. Yuz has the scythe in hand, trying to pressure MAK. I mean, we've been talking about Yuz's ability to kind of shift gears a lot, right? So right now, playing a little bit more on the reserve, more on the passive side, trying to find and pick those openings with accuracy, but it's not going to work here. The sidelights there are almost enough to secure the knockout. The KO box is on Air Temple, just barely being large enough to, you know, allow Yuz to keep the stock, but for how much longer?
Dash for an end line, not enough to KO, but that weapon toss puts Yuz in a bad spot now as their sweat beads come out. Another weapon toss, and MAK does it, unable to hit Yuz the impenetrable fortress that he can be off stage.
Yeah, I mean, side air finally going to be enough to do it. I was like, man, how much will it take? I mean, I know the stage is kind of larger in comparison to some of the others, but I mean, MAK was finding hit after hit after hit, and Yuz was just still just barely hanging on. But now, you know, down an entire stock, not really able to seemingly cook much of anything. This is going to be another game where Yuz turns up in the final moments of the game and then suddenly MAK falls apart? Or do you think MAK has this one under wraps this time around?
I'd love to see him lock this one in on the orb. I feel like he's been playing so well in this game, very disciplined, not been throwing away a lot of these advantage states. We want to see that as Yuz is slowly fighting his way back, though, similar to the last game, but a recovery comes in and stops the aggression from Yuz.
Spot dodge and web throw, but it doesn't really matter. MAK, you know, racked up so much damage at this point. Yuz on his final stock, already in the red as well. One more delay recovery is all it will take. Sidelights there in the corner might be enough. Oh, definitely will be enough now. How do you play around this? Yuz tries to get a punish on the end-sig. It's not going to work. And that's just a stop, just like that. MAK able to secure game number 2 off Yuz with what to me seemed like relative ease, man. Didn't look like he was sweating at any point in that. In game 1, there was at least moments where I was like, oh man, Yuz is exhibiting aura. In this game, I was like, what happened? Where'd the sauce go?
I mean, I feel like a big part of that game was lack of scythe. I feel like the scythe didn't find a lot more strings and activation like the previous game where he was able to start getting in the head of his opponent. We'll see the damage split here, but 297 damage, nowhere near enough to do it.
Yeah, potentially 3 more games in the set here as well as Yuz and MAK
28.
Duking it out. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. That's probably like maybe like 2 end lights or something. Maybe 3, probably 3.
3, 2, 1.
That's tough, but all right.
And if you couldn't hear that in our microphones, Balloon Boy just beat Kaina to make it into top 8.
Okay, there we go. Balloon Boy, the GOAT, rocking that VV for the weekend, that Mega Man. Definitely happy about that. I was able to chat with him a little bit earlier, but we'll see if any of these guys will be able to qualify for top 8 as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
more
Hughes
South American representation for sure.
definitely trying. That's for sure.
Oh, also, I don't know about taking use of this stage. He's really good on it, especially when the platform is hovering off the side of the stage, but we'll have to see for sure here.
Yeah, no, I feel kind of similarly. I don't know that I would take use to the stage either, but you know, maybe you're looking at the options that are available and you're like, picking between 2 poisons or something. But with that said, I mean, look at the amount of damage already racked up on use. MAK, maybe feeling very good about this one. Delay recovery is all it takes, throwing out N-Sig. And sometimes you just kind of jump and hover on top of your opponent's hurt box and then just let the recovery rip and just try to KO them raw. But for you right now, great response. Man, the recovery not going to knock out. These large KO boxed maps are really helping, you know, kind of to Use's detriment, I think. The ability to go ahead and snowball some of these plays, but might actually be what's needed.
I don't know about throwing those gauntlets away, though. You give Hughes an opportunity to have a mismatch on the weapon, but MAK cycles the gauntlets and picks up another orb as we get the end light there. Not enough to KO, though. This stage, even after the last zone changes, are quite big, but not big enough to let you survive that side light and Decider. High force orb. We'll definitely do that there.
Okay, let's see. Hughes go ahead and pick up this scythe. Gets the side light as well. Gonna force MAK into the corner. Maybe threaten the down light or cover the high recovery. No, instead returns to center, whiffs the side light, and that gives MAK an opportunity to counter poke. And yeah, at this point, I mean, we were talking about how like this can be one of the slower games, and that's totally what it's turning into, especially on a stage as large as most Ice Name. At this point, we are 2 minutes in to this game number 3, and things are not heating up. There you go, finally a recovery to take the first stock off of MAK. But you know, if they keep this trajectory of time, it will be down within like the 2-minute mark by the time they're able to go ahead and close out this game number 3. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition though.
It's so interesting because we take slower games like this and like literally the players don't want to be exciting. Hughes wants to completely take control of this match and like not let it get to anything too crazy. We see the down air there with some opportunities, but even on Scythe, a weapon that's so known for being so explosive in the punish, he's like, I don't really want to make anything crazy happen right now. And you're seeing this now as it's intense neutral. We're down to 3 minutes in the game and we're on our second stock, sub 100 damage.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, sub 100 is kind of like, right? It's like,
yeah,
you look at the numbers and you're like, what's going on here? When you really sit down and you think about it, I mean, 5 minutes remaining on the clock. You know, they both hit orange, you know, red a little bit for MAK here as well. And then you can start fishing for your signatures if you want. A side stick from Fate will definitely knock out. Down light. Oh, there it is. There's a side stick. Cool. I mean, sometimes you just, you get a little tickle.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, yeah, it probably comes in.
Yeah. Good call out there, Flambo, as we get into this last stock for MAK here. Hughes getting the side light into down light. That's a true combo, but then after the down light, you don't get anything. So you see there, Hughes is trying to bait something. So yeah, instead of going for side light side air, which doesn't really do much damage comparatively, you can get a big read avoiding that ground pound. What a crazy reaction time. And Hughes with an opportunity now to have MAK off stage, but he doesn't go for a down air. He doesn't go for an edge guard. He's saying, I'm going to keep it on the center stage. I'm going to slowly beat you down. As MAK gets the weapon toss there, looks to tap it in with that recovery, but doesn't get it. The side air doesn't connect either, and the end light sends off stage. Hughes stuck onto the wall once again.
Nice little recovery, gonna hit on the backside. MAK retaliates with an end light, and that's going to be enough to secure the knockout, but already in the orange to early red here, Hughes has effectively done the damage. 4 minutes remaining on the clock now. Hughes gonna be fishing for that final blow, maybe another side sig, or maybe even a down sig if you want to really surprise MAK here. He stays jumping around. I mean, that's where the N-Sig comes into play as well. So really, you have the whole kit to work with. If you're Hughes here, you have so much health to use as a resource as well, that if you want to go for a bit more of an unsafe play, you can. We can see Hughes doesn't want to risk anything, right? Still hasn't been touched. Goes ahead, picks up that orb, goes for the recovery, gets the knockout off the top. Hughes going up in the set 2-1, and it's like death by 1,000 cuts with him this time.
If you watched Hughes' web cam or like his posture when he's playing these matches, he probably moves the least out of any Brawlhalla player, and it translates to his game plan very, very well, where he's just a very stoic and like bastion. He can't get broken, and even MAK, a player that had opportunities in this set to break through the mold, you see Hughes like completely dominate a game on Legends, like Fate as well. I mean, we see that's a JV2 for Hughes in game number 3. With one more game remaining to move forward. I'm not sure who Hughes plays to make it into top 8. I know that we're just starting to see the elimination side kind of fill out. But yeah, look, it's very orb heavy on the side of MAK. And then we got the Scythe and the orb on Fate.
Okay, so all things considered, I mean, Hughes able to lock it in that game number 3. I think the stage pick definitely favored him a lot. But now we're going somewhere considerably smaller. We're going to Miami Dome. So, you know, that last game I think went down to the final 4 minutes. This game I do not foresee taking nearly as long. Probably going to be able to shave off maybe even 2 minutes if that's the case here. I can take a look. MAK getting the first opening and converting extremely well here. 4-hit string. That's glorious damage to have on Hughes right now. Hughes with that Scythe going ahead and getting a 2-piece and then almost getting caught for overextending a little bit with the punish, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
I like the dash up movement so far as Hughes is looking to get those anti-airs out and stop MAK from dominating these soft platforms, and not working out quite as well for Hughes as you would hope, but MAK honestly hasn't been getting anything too extreme in terms of the damage output besides the beginning of the stock. Nice down light there to get the anti-air, and Hughes is dashing in and out and looking for his opportunity to make a move, but MAK isn't giving him much.
Okay, so it's there. It's going to be enough. Just like that. Here we go, loading it up into this next stock here. I mean, Hughes is behind by a pretty considerable amount. I mean, we'll see if he's able to bring it back, but if this continues to be the case, we will most certainly be going to a game 5. It's like they're taking turns, just showing how dominant they can be against each other. And Hughes not going to go off stage here, I guess, is too worried about the reversal considering he's already down stock, and I get it. But how are you going to rack up this damage to go ahead and bring you that much closer? I guess Light's the answer.
Yeah, you want to see Hughes here try to flip into a KO. The sidelight will slowly whittle down MAK as the damage build is good, but it's going to take quite a few more of them to get a KO, and you see a KO there. He's able to find it. And MAK now, I mean, I don't know, has MAK been doing so successful with leads? I feel like he's pretty good at holding on to the lead, but I feel like sometimes people fall in the trap of trying to push a lead versus Hughes.
Yeah.
And then Hughes gets like so much damage because he just keeps winning neutral over and over again. It's interesting to see for sure.
Because MAK was definitely in a position in this set where he had a pretty considerable lead, and now they're tied. So there's 2 ways to look at that. You can say MAK is trying too hard to push the lead, or maybe Hughes is just that good at bringing things back. But, you know, there's definitely a truth that exists somewhere in the middle of those 2 statements. That is kind of showing and coming to fruition here, but now Hughes, I mean, still on the back foot, but barely trading with MAK. Gets that side light and gets, you know, sent off to the left side, but there's no edge guard situation to be found. They're kind of really, like, playing a very slow, methodical game, and Hughes, you know, really testing the patience of the players he's going up against, right? Like, if they're not able to hang like this for an extended period of time, it means you can also just win simply through the war of fatigue. But there we go. That's a beautiful reset. Goes for the end light, sees the dodge down, responds with another end light, and then closes out the stock with the Scythe recovery. It looks like Hughes just knows how to do it, man.
I kind of get like lulled into a rhythm a little bit when Hughes is playing. Like obviously all the sounds and the dash jumping, and I feel like it could be the same for the players as well, where even I'm, who's not playing, can get caught in that rhythm that he puts out. But nonetheless, MAK's able to find the KO there with the orb signature, I believe. And now we see MAK, the big lead here. An attempt to extend it to an even bigger one. The side air comes out, and Hughes now stuck on the wall. It just doesn't work. Like it hardly ever works, especially versus orb players that are so used to avoiding that option. But you got to respect him trying to get something going.
Yeah, I mean, no, I get it, right? Like, you have to try something. And even if you don't got, like, new tricks, you got to at least want to represent what you do have. Just to make sure that your opponent is keeping it in their mental Rolodex of things they need to look out for when they're trying to, you know, look out for you. But Hughes almost losing the stock there, you know, in the orange, not quite in KO range, but, you know, could be seeing a game 5 here if he's unable to respond.
Nice dash up, and it gets the end light into an immediate weapon toss, calling out MAK and his lack of action there. They dash jump through each other, and more dash jumping, more movement. No one wants to hit a button. Nobody wants to throw out an attack. We see a side air whiff, but no punish. The end light catches Hughes dashing back into it on a a mismovement there for sure. Dodging through the side signature. He's got reactions like that. That's the world champion. Side like there, side air. MAK now with an opportunity. Or use, I'm sorry. Can he do it? Can he find it? He's looking for it all there, but he doesn't pull the trigger on anything. Side light, side air. Is it enough? No, it is not.
He doesn't throw the weapon at him? Oh my god, Use beefs the edge guard there.
Oh no, MAK now has an orb on the advantage. Goes for the downlight on punishing a very deep side air. Overshoot and the side air punishes the side air. Use does it. 3-1 the world champion. Still in top 16 elimination side.
And they hug it out, but God, could that weapon spawn be any more perfect? Right? Like, it was like he comes in for the attack and dodges it at the exact same time that he dodges, the weapon spawns, and he's able to pick up the orb and then side air him in the other direction. Like, you cannot script it any better than that. He summoned that weapon spawn.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the world champion moving forward here and looking to take his mid-season championship belt at CEO.